Hello and welcome to episode 43 of the CPRW podcast. I'm your host, I am Colin, and today we are also joined by a person who I recently discovered doesn't know how to drink out of a bottle. It's Dan number two. Hello, Dan.
I didn't know you were bringing this up. I didn't know that was how you were going to introduce me. I bet you got that written on like a notepad somewhere as
I've been
well.
thinking about it all day. The image has just stayed with me since last week.
Good. I'm
Oh,
I'm glad.
oh
Um,
dear. Dan, how old are you now? 12?
uh, I'm a number.
You're a number.
Yeah,
You're not a
yeah. I'm
number.
26. I'm 26.
Dan has got to the age of 26 and isn't sure how to drink out of bottles.
Well, it wasn't like until you pointed it out and was like, that's not how you're supposed to drink out of bottles. Nobody had ever questioned me.
I mean, I'm not going to describe how Dan drinks out of a bottle because we want to keep this like PG, but I think that's enough of description, really. Um, but yeah, anyway, so
Do you want to talk about Till the Fest?
yeah, oh yeah, today what we're doing is talking about Till the Fest. We did a preview week or two, or whenever this comes out again. I'm recording this thing flying to Florida in a couple of days, so who knows when this is coming out. But yeah, so it was a weekend in the middle of October that Dan and I had a lovely time at. Today we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
So it started on a Friday.
Yeah, it did. It started on a Friday.
I suppose I should
Um,
open it up because you were late because you had
I
traffic
had
issues.
traffic issues, so yeah, I was late, so I missed the first band.
Actually, me and I can't remember if I even told you about this. Me and Emma also had traffic issues or travel
Oh,
issues. Not quite as bad as yours. We were there in plenty of time, but yeah. So we ordered a taxi to get from our house to the train station. That turned up like 15 minutes late, which meant we missed our
oh,
fast train. And then it basically just like everything then like snowballed the wrong word. It makes it sound like it was a proper disaster, but that 15-minute late taxi basically put an hour on our journey. And
yeah.
we'd had plans to like go to Temple of Satan and go to Forbidden Planets in sort of central London before going down to South London. But we didn't get to do that, which was a shame.
Oh,
So,
but that sounds like you had like plenty of time and wiggle room, like
oh, we would
so
have
you,
done
you
if a
didn't
taxi had turned up on time.
you didn't miss bands though, like me.
I didn't get to go to Temple of Satan.
Yeah.
And that was sad. I like Temple of Satan. I was going to buy the big popcorn chickeny fake chicken thing. I did quotation marks forgetting this is on Spotify as well. Um, Rookie era, 43 of these. Yeah, and I wanted them, but I didn't get to have them, and that made me sad. But yeah, we did get down then to South London with plenty of time there. We so on the Friday night, I guess they only had two venues, which was the New Cross Inn and the Matchstick Pie House. And the Matchstick Pie House was it was basically the hub for the whole weekend. I think I'd say that's where you got
Yeah.
like your tickets and or your wristband collection, all that kind of stuff. And I think that's probably where I just spend most of my weekend as well.
I think I spent most of my time at Matchstick Pie House as well. Looking at Yeah, I definitely did.
I think I was speaking to a lot of people over the weekend, and that venue got so much love.
Oh, it was incredible. I really
Yeah,
liked it.
it's a really nice space. So, like I'd only been there one other time before, which was obviously for Till the Fest last year. And yeah, it's just a really cool sort of small sort of kind of DIY space sort of vibes. And yeah, sound was great. And hopefully more promoters put on like punk shows down there for like smaller. If you got like a 80 capacity gig or something, then it's a really cool
Yeah,
spot to have them there. It's not far
I
from the
thought.
New Cross station either.
Yeah, it's closer to New Cross Station than New Cross Inn is. So yeah, it's really nice. And like, did you have a pie over the weekend
I didn't
at
get a
the Matchstick
pie.
Pie? You could get pie at Matchstick Pie House. They were doing vegan pies.
I
They had
didn't
a
realize they were vegan.
they had some vegan ones. Yeah,
Uh, Next
it was
year,
incredible. Next year, they
I
did
heard
mashed
they were
potato with
doing
it as well.
gravy shots as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but the pie
Mark
was great.
Mark from Call Me Malcolm had some, and he was very very positive about it. And quite a bit lot there sort of, I mean, Colby Malcolm were like the penultimate band of the whole weekend for me, but so we'll
Yeah.
go on to the stage banter in a bit, I suppose. But so yeah, I as I got there before Dan by like an hour. Gosh, Dan, yeah. So yeah, we picked up our wristbands and went up to New Cross Inn for to see Filthy Militia open the whole event, and it was such a fun way to start the whole weekend. Just they've been on such top form this year, and like they're always just so much fun live. I was quite appreciative Frosty didn't make me do too many squats. So I think there was a lot of people after Level Up complaining at him that we're all knackered because of him. Um, so yeah, that was just really nice, good way to start. And then that was a nice ska punk sort of band. If you don't know who Filthy Militia are, check them out. Then we rush back down to the Matchstick Pie House, which is how long you say it takes to walk there? 10, 15 minutes?
I'd say 15 more on the side. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I think you could probably do it in 11 if you pushed yourself.
I've, again, I'll talk about this later, but for Malcolm to random hand at the end, I near enough flew. Um, um, yeah, so Hell's Ditch were the opening band at the Pie House. And unfortunately, I think we missed the start because of the walk in between the venues. But I have the fourth time I've seen Hell's Ditch this year, and always really, really good. Sort of obviously because of sort of the collection of people they have in the band, they're all veterans at this point. They know what they're doing. And Hell's Ditch are a really sick band. If you haven't checked them out yet, then you definitely should. Yeah,
Yeah, they're really, really good. I thought it was good also. I was going to do the same as you, so I was going to do Filthy Militia and then Hell's Ditch. And I thought it was coincidence the bands I missed. I'd seen Filthy Militia twice this year, and I've already seen Hell's Ditch once. So they're both incredible, and yeah, it's a shame I missed both of them. But out of the bands I could have missed, I think the
yeah,
ones that I'd seen before is
yeah, that
fine.
yeah. If you yeah, because I guess that's the thing. If you're gonna miss a band, at least it is ones you've seen. So,
Yeah.
and I feel like because they're sort of London-ish bands as well, you will definitely get a chance to see them again within the
Oh,
next few months,
definitely.
easy. So, especially Filthy Militia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next up were Gender Warfare. Did you get there in time for them?
Yeah, I watched the last three songs of Gender Warfare, I think. They were really, really cool.
Hmm.
I very different to what I normally listen to.
Yeah.
Like sort of rave hip hop, like power punk. Like it was aggressive and like very political and very fun as well. They just looked like they were having so much fun on stage. Like really, really enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
That like, yeah, I just felt it was like infectious at a point.
Yeah, because I'm the same. It's like it's not something I'd ever put on at home, but watching them, I mean, they were very enthusiastic. This is probably maybe a harsh criticism, especially from me, but like the enthusiasm and the energy kind of maybe made their playing a bit more sloppy. So it's hard to make out some of the songs if that's makes
Oh,
sense.
okay.
But
Yeah, also do think they had a bit of sound issues. Like things were like overlapping on the speakers, and it sounded a bit odd with
that
it.
might have been the
But
case, yeah.
yeah, I remember somebody saying they had sound issues afterwards. But yeah, I just thought they really fun. I'd watch them again
Oh yeah, their
happily.
energy and like their enthusiasm, and it very much I think won everyone over if they're not sort of fans of that style of sort of punk rock music.
Yeah,
And then I guess you want to talk about Murex quite a lot.
I yeah
I'll sit back.
okay. So as mentioned on the last podcast, the band I was most looking forward to, like hands down, was Me Rex. I've been listening to them pretty religiously since I found their records. Their EPs and their full length Mega Bear have been like I've preached about them on the columns I've written, and like sort of just I'm just in awe of their songwriting and pure like sort of they just write perfect songs is the only way I could describe it, that hit me emotionally in the correct place, and it's incredible. Um, so they came on. They all had multiple instruments. I've never looked up and seen a live show or anything, so I was like going in completely blind. They're all multi instrumental. So Miles, I think, is the name of the front man.
Yeah.
Um, has a guitar, vocal mic, keyboard in front of him, and another keyboard piano on the floor that he can play with his feet. The bassist then has a bass, vocal mic, and the drummer has drum kit, mic, and drum pad with
The,
different sound
the bass
effects on
player
it.
had like their own synth as well.
Yeah.
It was
Um,
ridiculous. Quick sort of
in
side note,
act,
I like Emma and I saw Mirex years and years ago now. I'd forgotten all about it, if I'm honest, early when we sort of reminded ourselves that, and they were just a solo at the time, and I think all they had was an acoustic guitar.
oh wow.
So that development is nuts.
Like they had more instruments as a three piece than some of the ska bands of the weekend. That's incredible. Like, I struggle to play one instrument, let alone four. Like, it's absolutely incredible. And they started playing the songs and like played a melody from a medley, sorry, from the record, because the record is made up of like 10-20 second songs, and played like a collection of songs from the album, which was really really nice. And I think I cried emotionally sort of 3 times watching them, and was just absolutely astounded to hear these perfect songs performed live. And yeah, I went out afterwards and talked to Miles about the songs and bought a t-shirt, and they were absolutely fantastic people, and I'd happily recommend going and seeing them to anyone. And I think they were one of my favorite things I saw on the whole weekend.
I was very impressed as well. I don't have the words to top what Dan said, but yeah, BRX are an incredible band. And yeah, if they can make Dan cry, you should go and see them.
Yeah.
Tagline that'll be for the next PR kit. Yeah. So what did you do next? Did you go up to JB at New Cross?
No, I did not go to JB.
Oh, you
I
stayed to
stayed
watch early
but
flights.
I stuck around and watched early flights because everything ran late on the first day. So at Pie House, so I decided I wouldn't make enough of JB Conspiracy with the walk, so I stayed and watched early flights.
I
Especially because, yeah,
I was
I
really
heard,
excited to see him.
yeah,
Yeah, like I met, or I think I sort of started talking to them not long after Do It Together Fest, because they came over for that
yeah,
in like January 2020. Then they came over for Till the Fest last year, and I met them up like a couple of times, and they came over for something else as well. I think Booze Cruise, Bristol Booze Cruise. They were about. Yeah, just really, really nice guys, and I was really excited to like see their band because they're like it's my kind of band. It's sort of gruff punk, sing along, gang
yeah.
vocals, and yeah. And to start with, I was a bit disappointed, if I'm honest. No fault of their own. It's just that for some reason the sound could not get right, and they knew, and they were struggling. And credit to them for powering through, but I
Mm,
was so disappointed for them because they came over from Madrid, and this is their first time in playing in England, and obviously with Brexit and shit like that, who knows if they can do it again, and
yeah.
without it breaking all the banks. But luckily the sound got sorted out, and like they got to play the set properly. Only half of the set, unfortunately, at that point. But I was so impressed when they got the sound right, and yeah, and it's just nice. They stuck around all weekend and were enthusiastic for all the other bands, and
Mm.
they're sort of
That's,
good people to have at that kind of fest as well. Just enthusiastic, psyched on everything, really friendly. Yeah, I like early flights.
I saw them multiple times across the weekend, just having a great time and just getting involved and like right down the front for loads of bands, and like they were just lovely people. I chatted with a couple of them afterwards and said like good set, and like because I really enjoyed the last sort of 15 minutes of it like as well. I thought they've like had that this sort of really gruff punk that I like out of like Iron Chic and Flatliners, and like yeah, I just thought they were really really good.
yeah, I'm glad
Mm.
they managed to come over because everyone look at bands in like mainland Europe. They're really, really good.
There's
Pay
some very good skate
attention.
punk bands in Europe as well.
Mm.
Like there's so many good bands from Europe. It's incredible.
I
I
could
think
talk about
yeah,
this for hours, but this is not this podcast. But yeah,
I think we both could because like American punk gets like this huge like sort of highlighting while European punk doesn't get as much of a spotlight, though it's just as good.
if not better. But anyway, so the next band were the Burnt Tapes, and I know you were there for there because at one point you jumped on my back.
I did like a
you
spider.
you got excited. I was like, yeah, I must be Dan. It's always
Yeah,
Dan. If someone jumps on my back, it's Dan. Um,
I only jump on the back of people I know.
yeah,
Like, no, I don't just run around jumping on the back of people I don't know. That would
it,
be weird
it
and
would be a bit weird,
very
but
non-consent and not fun.
yeah,
Um,
but
but
yeah, like it was packed for the Pie House for Burnt Tapes, though,
yeah, it
which
was
is good.
absolutely rammed. It
And you
was
consider they're
great.
up against the Filaments playing up at New Cross, who I was so happily seen as well. But
The great thing I thought though, because of like they were contending with the Filaments, I felt like everyone in that room sort of knew the burnt tapes and knew all their songs, and like it had this really nice DIY scene. Like I felt like everyone in that room, I knew most of them, and like that's a really nice feeling of camaraderie when you're just like in the middle of it singing these songs with all of your friends. It just felt so good.
yeah, but I think we both ran out of sort of words to talk about how much we love the Burnt Tapes.
We
Just
talk about them a lot.
because they're incredible, and I do see them a lot. But yeah, they're just an incredible band, really, really great people, and they're doing a tour soon with Sunliner. If that's
Yeah.
To be fair, when this gets posted, they might have already done it. But if they're like 3 dates, it's like
There's no
one's
Reading date.
there's not a Reading date.
Disappointing.
There's not a Bedford date either. No, it's what is it? It's Stratford or Stafford, where the Red Rum is.
Yeah.
Stafford.
Stafford.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Peterborough and another one.
Leeds?
No idea. I wouldn't even like to guess because I don't know and I don't want to confuse people. Um, I mean, the internet's right next to me, but yeah, you've got it yourself. Don't be lazy. Yeah, so that was. I'm assuming you went at home after tapes.
I did go home after tapes. I
We went
couldn't
back.
stick around because of trains.
Yeah, but I know like Luna, like Hassan from Trip Sons, like hip hop
Mm.
project played in the basement at New Cross, and it looked incredible. And I'm really sad I missed it now.
Yeah, I saw all the videos. It absolutely did
It
look
looked like it really
stunning.
went off, so that's really cool to
Yeah.
see, especially at a punk festival. Have a hip hop act who like and the sort of stuff that Hassan raps about as well. Just go off at a
Yeah.
punk festival. It's like that. That looked really cool to see.
It's like yeah, the political subjects, especially the pro-Palestine stuff, is super important, and it resonates really really well with the punk scene, and I think that's why they pick it up and run with it. But it's really nice to see Hassan go down well, and like yeah, he
Always.
said that it was one of I think he said to me it was just absolutely spectacular and just he one of the best sets of his life. He like really really because he had a friend that came over from Spain, I think it was, and basically did guest featuring in the set and like was rapping alongside Hassan. And yeah, Hassan was saying like he was a natural performer, and it was yeah, it was incredible.
Nice. Nice. So if you were there, you were lucky. Yeah, so Saturday happened next.
Yeah. Speaking of Sunlight,
Oh yeah, Sunliner opened the I don't think what I did on Saturday morning. Can't remember. Probably 8. Um oh, I ordered a really disappointing breakfast. That's what
oh,
I remember. It was just grease and
uh,
awful. Like we ordered it to the room at the Premier Inn when we were staying at because I didn't. There's the thing with, I mean, other people might have realized this as vegans. Like when they say, "Oh yeah, we do vegan options," and you go down there, they'll have like some mushrooms and a hash brown,
yeah,
and like you have to like it's sort of just awkward to ask for things, and so we just ordered one. and it came in like one of those horrible plastic takeaway boxes. And I think there was like tomatoes or something must have leaked out of it, and it was just grim. Tasted all
Oh,
right, but it's just quite messy and just made the table we put it on very greasy, and won't be doing that again.
sounds awful.
Yeah, but these things happen. But so yeah, but
Yeah.
Sunliner for I think the first band for both of us on the Saturday
Yeah.
at the
They were
Bird's
the first.
Nest in
I
Deptford.
ma I managed to get in just as they were playing. They call him Gamblor, I think the song is called, which is my favorite off the new album. And yeah, just incredible to hear that live. I was chatting with the drummer of my band. There's like a really awkward pause in it that sounds like so cool. Like so they play like a dead stop on one, and then they miss a beat, and then play the kick again, and it's like it's a snare hit, I think, and it just sounds so cool. And to hear it played live, it's like musically, it's really really cool. And yeah,
I am not
it,
technically music enough to understand that, but cool. Yeah. Was this your first time at the Bird's Nest?
yeah, it was actually.
Mine
Yeah.
too. I've heard so much about it over the years, but never been before. But it was a really cool spot to watch like DIY punk bands.
Oh, definitely. Like, the room was just like really small and kind of compact. And like when you had a band of four people on stage, the stage looked really, really full as well. So like it just had this like sort of really rough sort of pub vibe, but like there was a stage that just looked like it was been put together with like people just had like rocked up like 10 minutes before and just put it together and stacked things on top of each other, and it somehow worked and it sounded amazing in there.
Yeah, I was
Like,
really impressed with the sound, and I only saw a couple of bands in there. But my only, I guess, only complaint about it was like the room. Like obviously it's a small room anyway, but they had like where the crowd are supposed to stand. There's a load of tables that sort of still left out. I've kind of felt like they could have pushed them to the side so there's a bit more room.
it was also like kind of up to the bands to say, hey, can you guys move forward as well? And that would create loads of space at the back, but like when a band started, like people would be all around the edge of the room, which would make it really hard to move anywhere. And then like the bands would go, oh, everybody move forward, and then the room sort of opened up because people would walk past those tables. So you're
Yeah.
kind of right. If they pushed the tables aside, it would have been a bit better. But I I was quite happy, and seeing Sunliner and seeing they have like this sort of middle of the road flatliner sound to them, and it's really nice to see Jake and the Jellyfish like evolve into Sunliner now and really put their foot down as we are Sunliner. We're playing Sunliner songs. We sound like Sunliner
Yeah.
now.
I was
Because like
thinking during the set, like obviously like you, big fan of Jake and the Jellyfish, like Dead Weight's an incredible album.
yes,
And when they started to evolve into the more Sunliner sound, I was a bit, oh, I'm not sure about this. But now I think they're incredible. It's like seeing them live a couple of times, and like the singles they've been releasing, and the album is possibly out when this comes out. If not, pre-order it from Lockjaw Records. Um, yeah, they're like so good now. Like they've. I think I spoke to Emma about this over that weekend. Like I feel like lockdown maybe helped them a bit as well with that. It let people
yeah.
have more time to get used to the idea of Sunliner and forget about not forget, but like I guess understand and realize Jake and the Jellyfish is a thing of the past.
Yeah, definitely. Because
Sunliner is just a new band, basically. That's I think the way to try and look at it.
yeah, definitely. Like Sunliner is definitely the direction going forward, and it is the definitive. This is a different band now. It, as I said, like last time I saw them in New Cross Inn, they still finished with a Jake and the Jellyfish song, even though they were a brand new band. So it just like it felt like I was watching a new band, and then suddenly they were Jake and the Jellyfish at the end, which was just weird. But now, like, it's definitively Sunliner. I fucking love those songs. The album is fantastic as well. I managed to get my copy a little bit early, so
Oh, well
yeah,
done. Well
indeed.
done. What a guy. So who did you see next?
Let me just I went and saw Gareth James. I
Oh,
You went off and saw Toodles and Hectic Pity.
I
I went
saw Toodles.
into the Jazzborn for the first time, which was like it was a cabaret club with like a big velvet red curtain at the back of the room. And it was like a really sit downy sort of nice venue for acoustic acts, and like sort of really worked for acoustic punk rock, in my opinion. It felt like kind of grandeur and like really nice. Like I really enjoyed it. Um, I remember having a chat with Gareth afterwards, and he said he'd had a chat with the bar staff, and they were saying that like it was completely different to what they would normally have there. They would have like a jazz night or like burlesque maybe or something like kind of high upmarket sort of thing. And they were like, no, but acoustic punk really worked here, and we're going to have a couple of the people back. And like that was a really nice thing to see. But Gareth had an amazing set. I really enjoyed it. He's like really coming to his own. His songs are really like dripping with emotion now, and he plays guitar so well. And like he's one of the most talented musicians I know, and every chord hit, and like he was just absolutely lovely to watch. So yeah.
I'm kind of sad I missed that now. I will go and see Gareth play live at some point. I don't go to a lot of acoustic gigs though, so I should have really taken the opportunity on this occasion to go and see Gareth. But I went to see Toodles because I do love Toodles and the Hectic Pity, and they opened up the New Cross Inn and obviously smashed it as they're a really good band. I don't think it was overly busy for them. I stood at the front. I can't really remember. But they played a really cool set. They had like all the classics, and they played a couple of new songs, which they've just gone to record as well. So, and those new songs sound incredible. Like Callum's voice is just so emotional and like captivating. I think is a good word for it. Like you just when he sings, you listen.
Mm.
And yeah, Toodles and the Hectic Pity are a really good band. I've seen them a bunch of times this year already, which is another reason why I probably should have gone to see Gareth. But I didn't, and I live with that decision now.
I was wearing my leather jacket all weekend with my little Toodles pin with two coffins in the Atlantic Ocean as well. Even though I didn't go see them, I was supporting them in spirit. I think they're incredible. They're absolutely incredible. And if they didn't clash with Gareth, I'd definitely been there.
Yeah, just like as a group of musicians as well, just amazing. Yeah. So next, I saw a band. I stayed at New Cross for a couple of acts. I saw new band, a couple or two bands I didn't really know a lot about. I do two in one because I don't really have loads to say about either of them, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I enjoyed them, but I just don't have a lot to say. Um, yeah. So the first one was Feeble Strength, who I guess like a new sort of indie punk band. They got some ex-members of Mean Caesar and probably a load of other London bands.
Oh,
They were good fun. I like but yeah, I just don't have a lot to say. They're enjoyable, but I think because they're new, they're still finding themselves.
okay.
And then the other one was Funbug, who I was quite looking forward to seeing. They do like a sort of older pop punk kind of sound, but they had quite. It felt like anything that could go wrong in their set did, like with
Oh
like
no.
leads breaking and like drumsticks breaking. A cymbal fell off at one point, which I have never seen ever. I don't think.
I we had it at a Reading show recently. I think Buds were playing and they knocked a cymbal clean off. And I quickly ran on stage and put the cymbal back.
Yeah. So unfortunately, like it kind of derailed their set a bit when I don't know them that well anyway.
Decymbaled their set.
Decymbaled their set very good. So yeah, like I'd like to see them again and I'll listen to them some more, but unfortunately, yeah, things went wrong and we didn't get to I'd get the full fun bug experience. But yeah, what were you doing while I was at New Cross?
When you were watching Feeble Strength, I was getting food because getting food is important.
Hmm.
And if I didn't get food, like I think that was the only opportunity where I was like, I definitely will get food here. And then I headed over to Matchstick Pie House, and while you're watching Funberg, I watched Snake Eyes. They were sort of like grungy, like 90s, 2000s punk, and it was very different to what I listened to. They seemed like really, really like moody and not that into it. And then I was chatting with Matt after, and he's like, no, they're always into that. They're always like looking really moody and like, and I was like, oh, okay. But played really, really well, and it was like really cool to listen to. Like it was very different and out of my comfort zone, which seemed to be the theme on Saturday, was doing things out of my comfort zone. So yeah, I enjoyed them thoroughly and would recommend going to see Snake Eyes when you can.
Nice. Right. Before we continue, I think we'll do a quick ad break because
Yeah.
there's a clock, and that means we have to do an ad break. So today we're going to talk quickly about Disconnect Records, which is a London-based DIY, I guess mostly skate punk label, run by the lovely John Allen. Like John's been a massive supporter of Colin's punk rock world basically since the start, and yeah, he runs a record label called Disconnect Records, and they have LPs and EPs and CDs and all sorts on their site. They've got like new ones from 10 Foot Pole and Pulley and Satanic Zephyrs, and they got like some represses from Local Resident Failure and Nerdlinger, and they got a split with Omnigon and Protagonist. They
Lovely.
released Forever Unclean's album this year.
Was about to
Called,
say
yeah.
the one of the best albums this year. It's called Best.
Also, Forever Unclean are about to do a UK tour with all Depends. Dates and stuff's on the internet. Find it and go
On the
support them.
internet.
Two really, really
Yeah.
good bands. They've got Gibberish as well. Their album, I think it's like a skate punk band from Japan. Last year they helped release the Talk Show Host album as well, which is really good, like indie pop punk stuff. But yeah,
Oh, they got
go
Thousand
to
Oaks as well.
Thousand Oaks. Yeah, they've like go to the Disconnect Records Big Cartel. I'll put a link in the bio, but and yeah, go check some stuff out, buy some stuff, support a really good label that supports bands in the UK and all over the world. Like John's always got really cool stuff coming in, so help
Yeah.
them out. Go support all the labels because they. I know obviously we're all fucked because of our government at the moment, but music it will always be there for you, and it helps. I think we can both agree it does help with like stress and mental health. So
Yeah.
as best you can support these labels and bands and whatnot because it's always there for you. And if it's not, then we've got issues. But yeah, so end of part one. We'll be back in 1 second when we come back in the meeting and we'll talk about the rest of Till the Fest. Okie doke. Yeah.
Sure.
Welcome back to part two. Hope you're well. Yeah, so Saturday after Funbug, I went back to the Bird's Nest. Oh, Dan's still here, by the way. I went back to the Bird's Nest to see Rochambeau, sort of met up with all the New Cross Ska Punk gang.
Oh, how were Rochambeau? I recently got their album off Pook's record label, Pook House Records, isn't it?
Pook Out.
Pook Out
It's
Records.
the play on
It's
Lookout Records.
it's fantastic. It's
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I listened to it this morning and yeah, so good. But yeah, live, they're incredible. Like because there are, if you don't know, they're like a super group basically of punk musicians, ska punk musicians. So they've got members from like JB, Faintest Idea, the Junk, Ducking Punches. I'm probably forgetting the other ones, but yeah, just incredible band. And I saw them. They did the Andy B album launch show last year, and I was just blown away by them. And then to see them again, blown away again. Um, really, really tight band, just really good songs, and they're going to be a very, very popular band in the ska punk scene. I feel like they're definitely going to be a band a lot of people are talking about and they're excited about, and because they have a lot of rap elements in the song as well with the two vocalists, which gives them something a bit different to like what a lot of the other bands are doing. They got Bobble and Joe on like brass, and are you going to get a better combination than that?
No,
So
that's
yeah,
incredible.
Pete from Ducking Punches playing drums, who's an incredible drummer as well.
Because they're really high up the lineup for like how long they've been a band. Like, yeah, they're just absolutely. I think like they, as you say, they're going to be massive, and like I'd be surprised if I haven't seen them at least like 3 times by this time next year.
What were you doing while I was watching? What were you doing instead?
Filth, absolute filth. I went and watched Incisions at New Cross Inn,
How was that?
and
They're a lot of my Clash find out they are coloured in, but I guess that the Clash and things getting moved around ruin that.
yeah. So Incisions, if you haven't seen them, a Manchester-based hardcore band, very old school sort of Minor Threat sort of sound, and they are just a force to be reckoned with. Just absolutely smashed it in New Cross Inn. Every single song hit like a fucking truck. It was incredible to see them on stage, because normally I've only ever witnessed them in Manchester. So to see them on a London stage in a town that they are not from, it was nice to see them in that different environment, and they were still knocked it completely clean out of the park. They are incredible to watch.
Cool.
Um, but Matt Spear from Ear Nutrition found out about my defect when watching hardcore. You know about
He
this.
was telling me about it as well. We've spoken about
Hardcore
it.
good hardcore puts me to sleep. So during Incisions and then the next band Agnosty, who are very filthy like hardcore, but they're like sort of more slow, sort of more metalcore influenced. Um, good hardcore just makes me tired, and I started drifting off. And like Matt kept prodding me during Agnosty and was like, "Are you awake? Are you okay?" Because like I literally just start going and my brain starts going, and I felt like I was like in a lucid dream watching Agnostic. They were incredible, absolutely incredible. But yeah, good hardcore puts me to sleep, which is dangerous. I can't be near any pits.
Yeah. Probably shouldn't drive listening to hardcore either.
Definitely not.
No. So that was that time when Agnes were wrong was going to be our dinner break. But
Yeah.
Paul and Mike Smith have both like really, really said, like told me to go and watch. I'm going to butcher this name. I've been told the proper way of pronouncing it from the lovely Chloe, like Mike's partner, who's Swiss and speaks French. Entomble, something like that. If we're English and ignorant, it says entomble, but there's accents, and I think it's entomble. But anyway, they're like a French burnt tapes basically, and they sing in French and were incredible. And I'm glad I did go and see them. Like, there's a really enthusiastic group of people in the room for them, and I don't know how many of us speak French and really like knew what they were singing about. Could have been insulting us all for all we knew, which would have been hilarious to be honest. Imagine just playing all these fucking English people. Why are they? Look at them and their pasty skin and English people.
Just because they're French doesn't mean they're insulting you, Carl.
Oh, I'm sure they weren't. But to be fair, if I was in a band and they didn't speak English, I'd be tempted just to see if I get away with it. That says a lot about me as a person.
Yeah.
Um, but now on Tomba, probably going to say it wrong every single time in a different way. Was really, really cool. I'm glad I did go and see them. I think there were four. I can't even remember now. I was there. There's four of them, and like it was cool actually because Ollie Ward, Till the Wheels was right in the middle of the crowd, and I have to say I've never seen him so enthusiastic for any band, and he's seen a lot of bands. So that was really cool to see him, like all the work he'd put into the getting the festival on and like organizing it all, and like the stresses that had come from the weekend of bands like dropping out last minute and stuff like that. And just to see him front and center really enjoying this band was really nice to see as well. So yeah, so then I went for I did want to see Spoilers, but I did have to eat, so I didn't get to see Spoilers. So we went and had a nice wrap from Beirut. It was the worst possible time to go because it was heaving and it took a while to get the food. But I did have a nice chat with B, so they were in there,
Nice.
so that was cool. And then, but we went after. Thing is, the problem
Well,
was,
while you
so
were eating, I went and watched Spoilers.
oh, you can tell me all about it then. We walked
Yeah,
past and it looked packed.
it was packed. It was really, really busy for them, and they played everything incredible. Like, just absolutely one of the best punk rock bands in the UK. like smashing it out of the park, banger after banger, like hearing everything and hearing some of the new songs from the new album that's coming as well. It was really nice. And them playing Punks Don't Die and dedicating it from to Calvin with Going for Collapse, I think it is.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was really, really good. And Stu on the guitar was going whoa every time they got up to the chorus, and he said it was to do the thing that Snuff does. Or Boston Preachers. I think he was taking the piss out of both of them. It was very funny.
Nice.
But yeah, it was just fantastic to see them with such a busy room. So
Yeah, I met Stu at a punk rock holiday. Lovely man.
oh, he's lovely.
We did some spinning, I believe, to Lagwagon. If you were there, you know. Yeah, so because of like how long it took to get dinner and the gap, like the because the Beirute's by New Cross, so we went from Untomba at the Matchstick Pie House all the way up to New Cross and like Beirut to get some food, and came all the way back down again for Nexo. I went to see some hardcore too. Um,
Do you want to talk about Nexo with me?
I would love to.
Talk about hardcore. I went and sat. So one of my favorite things about Matchstick Pie House is there was a whole balcony you could go on and just have a sit down up, like and watch the band from like an elevated angle. That was just really nice, especially towards like sort of the Sunday when I was a bit exhausted. It was really nice to be able to watch bands from like a really high vantage point and watch everyone having a great time while it's still sounding amazing. So that was really, really nice. So I watched Nexo from the balcony and just watched everyone having a great hardcore time. And I think I watched Theo from Grey Market like strutting around, and I was like, yeah, he's really enjoying himself.
They was like again, hardcore's not something I listen to that often, but I think they came over for MPF and Brett had gone to see him because they live in Denmark now, so they were like, yeah, support Denmark, and he was really raving about them, and I can see why. Like, and just it's angry hardcore, but it's also really positive, like the messages. And I enjoyed
They
the
were
fact he had two mics, one for like the cleaner singing and one for the dirty, growly kind of stuff.
they were the tightest, best hardcore band with the best songs that I'd watched all weekend. They were so good. Like I, as somebody going in blind, I was like blown away, and I'm like, I need to pick up a record by these guys. They're incredible. Like they were the band that like blew me away. The best that I'd seen completely blind over the weekend. Like everyone else that I expected to be good was good, but they were the one that really stood out to me as, oh my God, I'm going to go away and listen to this band.
Yeah, incredible. If you're into like hardcore music and haven't listened to Nexo yet, listen to Nexo. I hope we're pronouncing that right as well,
Yeah, it's yeah,
because it's got the funny line going through the O.
like an Authority Zero logo.
Yeah, just like that. Well explained. People will know what that means. Yeah. So I'm assuming you stayed around. I feel like you must have been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you watched
Um,
Darko. Yeah, that was your last band of the day. I remember.
yeah.
I was there,
Darko was
man.
my last band. Darko was my last band of the day because I knew that I'd be doing all of Sunday, and because I was traveling back and forth, I decided I'd take it a little bit easy. And but Darko, honestly, hand on heart, was my band of the weekend. Watching so I managed to get my hands on a copy of Sparkle early, their new EP, and all of the songs are just absolute masterpieces. They're like absolute masterworks of songs and very post-hardcore in like sort of the new direction of Darko. But adding Tom to the mix has really elevated their like power, and watching like Dan's guitar playing and Rob's guitar playing like go up a whole level.
Who's
And
Dan?
like,
I thought his name was Chris.
is it Chris?
Chris Brown, like the singer.
I'm awful. I'm awful. I thought his name was Dan for years. This is really embarrassing because
The
Rob will
guitarist
probably
has a nice
listen to
beard
this.
and a hat.
Yeah, and
I
he's
swear
really
his name's
lovely, and he
Chris.
came up. I think his name is Chris, and you're right.
I remember singing
Why did I
Forever
think
Uncle.
he was
I
Dan?
got to check now. We're
It's
on the
gonna be
internet.
Chris. I don't,
Uh,
but they're just like as a band, it's so tight, and to watch it be performed live at such technical accuracy is just absolutely incredible. And hearing Tom hit these angelic vocal notes is just mind blowing. And everything also from like the ladder being like about female representation in the scene and sort of not pulling up the ladder for other people of gender or sexuality or um and just like being inclusive in our scene. And then I'm getting Leslie from Midwich Cuckoos up
That
to
was a really
do.
nice touch how Tom left the stage as well. So when Leslie
Yes.
sang their part,
Oh, it's so good. And then they played my favorite off the new record, Cruel to Be, and that's like absolutely fantastic. And it's just I I'm really excited to see what Darko do next. And they just seem to be getting better and better. And any opportunity I either have to see or play with them, I'm gonna take with both hands because they're absolutely incredible.
it's insane. Like I said to a few people over the weekend, like if they chose to do it, like stop playing punk music and played a style of music where they could make some money, they've got the talent. They'll make a lot of money. Like watching, we were stood right in front of Chris doing and just watching him play guitar. And I'm not that good at anything. If you combine all the things I am good at and like manage to somehow combine them to like super good at something, I'm still not that good. Like
Mm.
it's ridiculous. Like and Rob, I guess how do the finger picking or like finger tapping thing people
Tapping,
doing?
it's called.
I don't,
Um,
I don't know, but
it's
like him
it's
and
it's
Rob seem to like harmonize doing it though. And,
it's
like,
very very difficult.
how do
So
you do
like
that?
um practice and also like the synchronization to them write something and then both be able to be on the same wavelength to play it in synchronization is just like a whole other level of just technicality. It's incredible. Like hands down, like I said this to a bunch of friends over the weekend. Music is not competitive and it never should be. But hell, whenever I watch Darko, I think I want to get better. I want to do better because if I've watching these people so far above me that it just makes me go, I could do better than I currently am. And that's a really nice, driving, inspiring feeling. And I get that every time I watch them.
Yeah, Darko is it's definitely in my top three sets of the weekend, I'd say. Definitely my top set of Saturday. It
Yeah,
was like, and I'm not like a skate punk kind of technical punk kind of guy, but Darko is just another level, aren't they? You just like
they're
watching them.
making also skate punk accessible, which is really difficult.
Yeah,
So
like
yeah,
because I was Matt was making because we have this running joke that Matt hates ska and I hate like skate punk, and like Matt was I was before we went in I was pretending to like shred and I that's really great content, which Matt found hilarious. But after I was just wow, like Darko shred.
yeah.
I think that's the technical term for it. But so yeah, you went home. We were hanging around at Pie House for there was the dub writers and then Fresh, but the dub writers were late, so Fresh went on before them.
Okay.
And what a set from Fresh! I was like, I thought about it afterward, and like, how lucky are we to see a band at Fresh at the level they are at the moment, and like hitting their peak, play at a venue like the Pie House when they could easily be playing to like they could fill out New Cross easily if they wanted to. They could. I'd I'd probably say they could fill out the Underworld quite well, and we got to see them play a floor show in a Pie House, and it was incredible. And I loved like because did you see Fresh at MPF?
I didn't get
Because
the
they played to a
opportunity.
massive crowd there in like the Union, and were really really good. But seeing them play on this tiny little floor show stage was just amazing. And what a band! Like the songs are all so good. Whenever I see them live, I'm just amazed by just how good they are as a band. They had a new guitarist. I don't know if they were just a stand-in or they've just got a new guitarist. But I think if you hadn't have known that they were a newer member, you wouldn't have known because just how tight they were. And yeah, Fresh are incredible. Like I know, like, because they get on a lot of the tours from like when like bigger bands like American bands like bigger come over, and it's well deserved because they're incredible, and it's cool to see. And I can remember seeing one of their really early shows at Urban Bar. I feel like it was either an Happy Accidents album launch or a Great Cynics album launch. I can't remember, but I remember watching them thinking, oh yeah, they're all right, but I didn't ever expect them to sort of do what they've done and had the progression they've had. And it's really nice to see and well played, good effort, A star. That sounds patronizing. It's not meant to be. But yeah, like Fresh were incredible. I think a lot of people were quite pleased that they went on when they did, because I think a lot of people were hanging around specifically to see Fresh. So I mean, I got an earlier night. Happy
Yeah.
days. Then we had a long walk back to Lewisham.
So you didn't end up staying for the dub writers then?
Now we were tired,
Ah,
and
fair enough.
we had a late night the next night already. So,
Yeah.
but we should also sort of say, obviously, neither of us went. But while all this was going on, Wonk Unit and Snuff were playing at New Cross, and the
Yeah.
Barstool Preachers, which all three of those bands are headline bands,
Yeah.
and
And we
it,
didn't watch any of them.
we're properly DIY. Or Dan went to bed, but yeah,
I've
so
seen one unit plenty of times.
yeah, and I don't have I seen the Preachers. Yeah, I've seen the Preachers since lockdown at MPF. I remember I was there. But I would have loved to see Snuff as well, to be fair. But Emma really wanted to see Fresh, and I'm really glad I got to see Fresh like that as well. So it all worked out for the best.
Yeah, because I also like just getting an early night for me. Like I was in bed by 11:30, which was lovely. Because doing a 2 hour commute there and 2 hour commute back, it's just takes it out of you. So I was a little bit more refreshed for starting on the Sunday.
Yeah. So Sunday to start Sunday, I met up with or me and Emma met up even with Mark, In It Records, superhero loving, wonderful, wonderful human being, and Matt and Charlotte Matt from Dear Nutrition and his wonderful partner Charlotte. Matt's also okay. Yeah, we went for a roast dinner at the New Cross House to start the day, which is something I'd advise you all doing on a Sunday before a festival. Builds you up nicely. And then we went to the Jazzborn for KEMF's acoustic set. And I love Katie.
You were
I was
right
really
down the
excited.
front as
I
well.
was.
Yeah.
And there were people in there before me, and I just went straight to the front anyway. It was really quite weird. Like she was sound checking, and there were some people sort of sat next to us playing some sort of weird potato-based D&D game. No idea what was going on, but sounded interesting. They seemed to be
Nice.
enjoying themselves. What like they did shut up before Katie started. They were respectful, and I assume they enjoyed her because what's not to enjoy? Katie's incredible. Um, she was saying she'd had like her engagement party the night before and was quite hungover, but I you couldn't tell because like all the songs,
Yeah.
like she played some. She started quite slowly, just to I guess warm her voice up, and as she got into it more, like the bigger songs started to come out, and she played a couple from her upcoming album, which I'm so excited to hear. Not just because I sing on a bit
Same.
of it, a very small bit of it, but I will be referring to it as Colin's album featuring KEMF. Even though I really, really hope my vocals are very, very muted and hidden and hopefully taken off and they just give me credit so I can think I'm there. Um, but now Katie was incredible and Frosty was there. We were talking to Katie afterwards and Frosty came over and like said it was the first time he'd seen her and was like said how good she was and yeah, she played a song and it was quite a sad song, but she got a really good crowd sing along. I can't remember how it went because we saw a lot of bands that day, but there was another song "Say It Light" I had
Yeah, yeah.
stuck in my head for about 3 days afterwards, and yeah, just KEMF's incredible. I'm so excited to hear that album and see her more of her shows. Hopefully, she'll get some more full band shows coming up as well.
It was beautiful how quiet it was in that room as well, and how when everyone, how much attention she held of everyone. She has this unique ability to pull at people's heartstrings with her writing, and her songwriting's just gotten better and better. Gareth was talking to me about how she can play guitar really, really light or really, really heavy when she needs to, and it's like a really unique ability, and it made him want to play guitar better. And yeah, it's just absolutely exceptional whenever I get to see her. And
Yeah,
It's been like almost a year since I last saw her, so like I was very, very happy
Yeah,
to
me
see her
too.
again.
Last time, so it's the same time you probably last saw her was the Burnt Tapes Old Blue last
Yeah,
show. She opened
it
that,
was.
and yeah, just Katie's amazing, and I could talk about her for hours and hours and hours. But there are other things happened. Other things happened. We saw Call Me Malcolm on this day. Well, I did. I don't know what you were doing. But
Don't
yeah,
skip to the end.
oh, sorry, but Call Me Malcolm's a big deal. Yeah. So who did you see next? What were you up to?
I went and saw Old Chase.
Oh, me too. I was there.
Oh, how convenient.
Yeah,
The I'd like to point out we don't talk to each other most way through the day. So
we just don't talk to each other. We don't
which
like
is
each other
which
really.
no, it's not that. It's just if I'm going to do a podcast with you, I don't want to talk about the bands I've seen because then I'd just be repeating myself and it'd be weird.
It
Like,
would make this
what do you
seem
think of
really
Old
scripted.
Chase? Yeah, that would probably more be what would happen. Um,
Yeah, with Old Chase, I wasn't originally going to see them because they originally clashed with Katie, but a
yes,
band
origin.
dropped out, so they went on later, which worked
Yeah,
very well for me.
I wasn't originally going to see Katie, but Old Chase moved around. I got to the Pie House in the morning, and then Old Chase was sat there, and I was like, "What's going on? You should be going on the Bird's Nest in 10 minutes." And they were like, "Oh, we've moved, Dan."
New
And
Cross.
yeah,
They played New Cross Dan.
yeah, they did. It was really nice.
You
Like
said the
I
Bird's
really,
Nest
really
Dan.
enjoyed that.
You
No, that
said
was where they were supposed to be playing originally.
no. I think they were always at New Cross. It doesn't really
Mm,
matter. I don't know why I'm arguing.
it doesn't matter. Like, well, let's not argue about this.
I like to argue.
Um,
It's fun. We're on the internet. That's what you do. You argue.
infinite arguments.
But yeah, Old Chase were really, really good. I think I forget. It might have been you. Was I stood next to you? I can't remember. The person. No, it was Craig. I said to Craig at the end of their set, they like no effects. That's my review of Old Chase. They like no effects, but no, really good. Tom's a great front man. Really fun.
Yeah,
Really like his banter between is just hyperactive and silly and nuts and just yeah.
yeah, it's really
I
nice.
was that was my first time seeing them, and I was really really impressed. I
We're
really enjoyed
playing
it.
with we're playing with them next Friday in Brighton at the Pipeline, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. So yeah, they're just such a great punk rock band, and I can't wait to see more of them.
Yeah, they played a lot of songs because they have short songs.
They could play faster though. That's my review.
They could play
Make them play.
faster. Even
Make
they play
make
quite
make them
fast
play.
anyway,
Make them play faster, and then they can put more songs on the set.
or a shorter set, and I can
No.
have a rest because I am an old man. Um,
Uh,
yeah, so I hung around New Cross for quite a lot of this day because I was being lazy. So next up
yeah.
for me was Faintest Idea.
Mm,
Were you there for Faintest Idea?
no.
Ah, well, I'll talk about Faintest Idea then. I'll tell you all about it. Faintest Idea was one of my favorite things I saw all weekend. It's been fucking ages since I've seen Faintest Idea. And I wasn't even originally going to go see them, but then I was being lazy. I thought, no, I'm going to see Faintest Idea. Can't go wrong. I should have potentially gone to see Masonette and seen a band I hadn't seen before and checked them out because Masonette are a really good band as well. But I was being lazy and Faintest Idea were on and they're fun. I watched their set and I got thinking about the Faintest Idea have the best brass section in ska punk.
Quite possibly. Them or the
They're
JB conspiracy, in my opinion. But
they're definitely up there, aren't they? Just I think, especially as a brass section that you watch as a live, I don't think anyone's topping them.
oh, definitely. The thing I was going to ask you about with Faintest Idea is did they play like the new songs? One second, my mother's just come in. Uh,
Hi, in a dressing gown as well. Ooh, a dog. There's a dog. Dan's being quiet for reasons because his mum's in the room. There's a dog. That's exciting.
sorry about that.
I didn't know you had a dog.
Yeah, I do. I have a small dog. What was I saying?
Faintest
Faintest
idea.
Idea.
Did they play a new
Yeah.
song?
Yeah, because the new the thing I've always thought that Faintest Idea was weakness is they didn't have many big singles, but like the last two songs that they've released as singles, Nosedive and Stomp Them Down, are absolute incredible songs. Like I can see Faintest Idea like really coming into their own now, and they've really got this like sort of chant hook down in
Yeah,
their better songs, and like hearing those two new ones makes me really excited if they're going to do another album and
yeah.
bring some
Like I can
more heat.
remember this was around the time I first met Paul. We were. It was also I think around the time like Random Hand were sort of starting their hiatus,
Mm.
and we were talking about like who's gonna be like the UK ska punk band that really like takes their place, I guess, in the scene as like the top one at the time. And I suggested Faintest Idea because just as I think they write incredible songs, they're a bit different to a lot of the other ska punk bands in the scene. They've got more of a punkier edge to them,
Yeah,
and yeah, always really really good live. So I think they are one of the top bands in that scene in the country, and they always get really good crowds. Everyone's always into. They opened with Bull in a China Shop, which surprised me,
that's ballsy.
but
That's good though.
also it got the crowd going. They did a Mutual
Yeah,
Aid, which is one of my favorites as well, and they did another one that's my favorite, but I've forgotten House of Cards. They did that. They finished with Stomp Them Down. They also played the
it's
Nosedive song. Obviously, that song recorded features a Risky of Risky and the Ridicule, and they got
yeah,
around that by so Danny, Bobble, and their guitarist, whose name escapes me. I'm gonna go for Mark. It might not be Mark. We'll call him Mark and hope for the best. Um, but those three like took a line each and were just so
oh, they were just doing it like call and response to each other. That's really
yeah,
cool.
it worked really well, and I really enjoyed it. So
Oh,
I
I've
think
got
I don't
I
know when
was
their
listening.
album's out because it's so
Yeah,
good.
I was listening to that song in the car today, and just like the hook is incredible.
Mm,
Just nose dive. Oh, it's so good. It's so them as well. It's
yeah,
incredible.
the album's
Sorry,
been a long time coming, and I I feel like it's soon.
I'm very excited. Um, I we're probably going to need a break, so I will just talk about one more.
Yeah,
While you were watching Faintest Idea, I went and watched Mason at, and yeah, incredible. Seeing Ryan in that sort of band where it's sort of like the Triple Sunday, Burnt Tapes esque sort of pop punk, like sort of very emotional. Narwhals is the band that came to mind when I was watching them, and they had like an ongoing bit of banter with Kareem on stage, and everybody was telling Ryan to stop bullying Kareem, and it was very very funny. But like Ryan was chatting to me and saying like these are the might be the last time we play the Masonette songs live, and it's a real shame because they sounded incredible, and the Bird's Nest was like a perfect venue for them, and just everyone was super into it, and they sounded incredible, and they really, really brought it, and I was really dead happy to watch them.
I hope that's not the last time because I haven't seen them yet, and I want to see them. Why was I
One
being
more time for
lazy?
Gollum.
Why
One
was I
more
being
time.
lazy? Oh dear. Yeah, we're timing out. And do you have an ad? Do you have anything you want to plug, Dan?
What should I plug? We are playing. There is a show in Reading that I could plug. I
Go
will
for
plug
it.
I will plug two things actually. So there is a show happening in Reading on the 18th of November at the Butler in Reading. It's a Friday. It's Storm and a Teacup presents and my promotions company, 25 for Life Promotions. We're putting on Keep Summer Safe, Tape It Shut, which is my band, Missing the Scene, the Phenonauts, who are a band from High Wycombe, and Constanza, who's a friend that does some ukulele, and it's really incredible. It's 7 o'clock start. The entry is pay what you want. Come down. It's going to be a lovely time. But we ran our first show there, and it was absolutely incredible. I'll also shout out the Philanthropunks Festival, which is happening on the same weekend as that gig. It's 18th to the 20th of November. They have just found a new venue for it that is, I want to say, the Moorgate Beer Room or something. Let me just pull up my thing. It's at the Moor Beer Vault. It was meant to be at Escape Bar, but that's closing down. So it's at the Moor Beer Vault now. Um, we're playing the Saturday, but there is loads and loads of good bands on. Tickets are available at philandropunks.eventbrite.com. I really recommend. It's in aid of the Glassjaw charity, and it's just going to be a lovely weekend. So if you're stuck with something to do that weekend and you're in London, definitely go to that.
Oh, excellent. Good advertising, Dan.
Thank you.
I'm gonna say just say hi, Tim, and then at the end, and we'll be back in the next part. Bye. Hello, we're back for part three. This is a longer one than I thought it was going to be today. Sorry, we talk. I think I spoke about KEMF quite a bit because
I've,
she's one of my favorites.
I've talking about Mirax and Darko, so
This
you're,
is
you're you're only partially responsible.
it's all Dan's fault. So yeah, I was hanging out at New Cross all day, and the Next Oak and Crazy Arm were on next, and everyone knows Crazy Arm are a really good band. There's much more to say. I probably should try and say a bit more about it. What happened? I didn't make any notes. I just remember really enjoying watching Crazy Arm. They've been on tour, so they were tour tight. I feel like every time I've seen Crazy Arm, they've had a slightly different lineup,
Interesting.
which I might be wrong about that, but they're always really good. Whoever like Darren manages to draft in always smashes it. Um, yeah, like they did all my favorites. I don't know if they played many from the newest album. I felt like they were playing a much more. They were tailored their set to a more punk rock crowd, and I guess
Okay, so
maybe if they,
more stuff off Broken by the Wheel, I think the
yeah,
album's called.
they play Tribes. That's all that matters to me. That's my favorite. But yeah, Crazy a really good band. Obviously, everyone knows that, and it's always nice to see them. And every time I get the opportunity to see them, I try and take it.
It was a hard clash, to be honest, because
Mm.
they clashed with Bobby Funk, who are an absolute force. Like a hardcore band, but the songs are like comedic most of the time, and they're like really funny. But the songs hit like really well and are really well written. They're like really good 1-2 punches of songs. They're just absolutely incredible. Every time I've watched them, I've just left with a big smile on my face. Like a lot of hardcore runs the risk of being boring a lot of the time, but like they just do it so well and keep everyone interested and keep everyone like energy up. I was talking to Charlotte about it, and she was like, "Yeah, this is like if Bobby Funk can't give me energy, I'm not making it through this day." She left like really perked up, so it was good. It was good.
Yeah,
Um, who did you catch after Bobby Funk
I
or Crazy Arm?
saw Inner Terrestrials at
Ooh,
New
what were
Cross.
they
Like,
like?
I'd never really know a lot about. I knew they were in my head. I always thought they were more like the sounding like the Infested, like sort of dirty scarcore kind of sound, like crusty, that kind of scene. But they were more dubby and than I thought they'd be. They had like that. I think that, I'm assuming they're from North London from the singer's accent. Um, and yeah, I was really impressed by them. I didn't see the whole set because I got distracted by our friend Toby wanting to reenact a picture from his t-shirt, and I had to be. Well, first he wanted me to be a cat, and I said absolutely not. So he wrote, which is ironic after you just seen Bobby Funk. But yeah, so he wrote Paul into turn it instead, and I just went and took a photo. But yeah, in the terrestrials, when I was watching them before Toby was being annoying, was like I was having a nice little bop and a nice little dance to him. I was with Mackie Hall from Hastings, and yeah, I'm glad I took the time to see a band that I hadn't seen before. I was super impressed by them. What were you doing?
I went and watched The Wrong Life, which is Fraser Murderburger's new band.
Hmm.
They were absolutely incredible. Hearing like the next logical step for the Murderburgers in a brand new band that had brand new songs. It's a lot more slower, a lot more rocky sort of esque, less like it. To me, it's like with the Murderburgers, they always ran the risk of like having to play the old material, which didn't match up with the later material, which was a lot more slower and a lot more emotional than I've Got a Broken Brain or Moron off the first record. So like to hear them fully step away from the Murderburgers early catalog and do a brand new band that sounds like its own thing now, and what the Murderburgers sort of evolved into was really nice. And they played all the songs perfectly, and getting to hear like Dreamer's Gate and some of the stuff off the album was fantastic. I just, yeah, go see The Wrong Life when you get the chance. They're incredible.
Will do. Will do.
I bought a t-shirt.
Oh, for YouTube, Dan's about to show the t-shirt, maybe, or he's doing something else.
No, no.
Uh,
My OCD is annoying. The scorpion that's on my shelf fell over, and I just realized it, and it's annoying me. So now he stood up.
Good. Everything's okay. Did you catch any of Making Friends?
I did watch all of Making Friends set. That was my next thing.
Ah,
They were my other band of the weekend. Like, oh my God, watching them is like so uplifting. Like, Ryan's songwriting really shines through. Daniel's guitar playing is incredible. Bill on bass. I can't remember their drummer's first name. I'm so sorry, whatever your drummer's name is. Um, you can't
Keith.
help me here.
I can't help
Huh?
you, no. Keith. I don't
No,
know. Should we just call him Keith and hope for the best?
no, let's not do that. That's
Oh,
misnaming people. It's
oh,
just as bad as misgendering.
I don't think it is. Anyway,
Making Friends were incredible though. Yeah, the songwriting's incredible. They play fast, and they ended with a cover of "Sticking in the Eye" by NoFX, and the room went off. And for the second time in the weekend, I grabbed a microphone and sang a little bit as well, which was really really fun, and just like enjoyed every single second of them. What was really cool was probably the third time we've mentioned him, or fourth time, Matt Spear. Never seen Making Friends, super into skate punk, and I was like, Making Friends are will be one of the new defining skate punk bands in the UK. And like, I've been very, if Ryan listens to this, he'll probably get a bit blushy and sort of like, oh, sort of thing. But like their sound and how they're going forward, like really, really catchy, really well written songs, like so good. And Matt like completely got it and thought they were incredible as well. And yeah, it's just phenomenal to see.
yeah, although, like I said, I'm not a big skate punk fan. I didn't go see Making Friends because I'd seen them a couple of times this year already. But ironically, I saw the band I saw even more times.
Did
But
you not watch Ducking Punches then?
no, I went for Trips on.
I yeah.
Awful, awful clash.
Do you want to talk about the first half of the set? And then I'll talk about the second
I
half.
don't think you would have missed that much because I think Mike broke his string like one or two songs in,
Yeah.
and then they had to sort of fill with like a funny little jazz thing while Mike was dicking around with the strings. He took ages. I don't know what he was doing. I think he was just like, yeah, I quite like this. I'll hang out and listen to this as well. But yeah, because I know you got there when they dedicated Swisher to you.
Yeah, that was exactly when I walked in. And I thought it was really, really funny because you some people know this, some people don't. My real name is Dan Kilver. I normally go online by Dan Tape or Dan number two because I like separating my real name from. There are three people that call me Dan Kilver: Connor from Skiv, Ryan from Making Friends, and Hassan from Triple Sunday.
Who the fuck is
And
Triple Sunday?
Trip Sun, Trip Sun,
Gosh.
using their real name. But like it was really funny because Making Friends did shout out this one's for Dan Kilver, and then I walk into Trip Sun and Hassan goes, this one's for Dan Kilver. I was just like, for fuck's sake.
You're famous.
Yeah,
You are
it was
famous.
man. I just feel really awkward when people.
Yeah, I hate it.
It's flattering. It's very flattering though, and I love them. They're Ryan and Hassan and all of them boys. They're lovely people.
Yeah, like
But Trip Sun were incredible,
yeah,
and
it's nice to see them play a floor show as well, and like
yeah,
just always like they always get a good group of people go watch it, even though they clashed with Ducking Punches, which was I'd say the worst clash of the whole weekend, maybe. Actually, no, there was another
yeah,
one that was quite bad later as well. but it's up there. Um,
And the fact they clashed with the first half of Making Friends as well. Like a lot of people that like Triple Sunday also like Making Friends. So
yeah, I was speaking to Mike about, it and he was so annoyed he clashed with Ducking Punches and Making Friends.
mm,
But yeah, but I'm happy to. I'm always happy to go see Trips on. I like a good sing along. They're my friends. It's just lovely people and a great band. I will support them any way I can. And I was just disappointing to miss Ducking Punches. I probably should have gone to see them, but I've got lots of good memories with Ducking Punches and what a good band they have been over the years and how important they were into like my like learning about the UK scene. And I'm sure whatever they go on to do afterwards, if it's the musically or Dan doing his art and tattoos, it will be incredible because they're a talented bunch.
mm.
And yeah, cheers to Ducking Bunches for all the good times and the great songs. Um, yeah. Did you see the Human Project next?
I did. The Human Project are my favorite UK band, and they are still my favorite UK band. They are absolutely a force to be reckoned with. Political skate punk, like some of the best songwriting, and their harmonies are on like another level when they do a three-part harmony. And their front person, like Jesus Christ, like hitting the notes he was, like at the volume he was. Oh, it's so good, so good. They're so good. I was convincing Making Friends to go watch some of the Human Project because I was like, they were like, we're gonna go see Lightyear, and I was like, no, don't go watch ska bands, go watch skate punk bands because they will inspire you to write better skate punk songs. Um, but yeah, they're absolutely incredible. I'm not saying Lightyear wouldn't have been fun, but like I really enjoy the Human Project and listening to them playing like Clarion Call. I really hope they do a new album soon. I just absolutely love that band.
Cool. I also saw the Human Project and also enjoyed them. I was stood sort of the way the Pie House was set up. So you had like the room or the area where the band and the stage, or not even a stage, but the where people stood and the band played, was like so you had like in the drummer on the corner the drummer, and then the band, the rest of the band sort of stood next to them. So where I was stood, I was basically behind the drummer, and there was a couple of times during his set where he would broke his stick and just like threw it behind him. I guess he's also not used to having people behind him when he plays,
Yeah, so he
and
he
he has
was
to
like,
watch
oh,
out for that. That was dangerous. Nearly had someone's eye out.
he heard you didn't like skate punk, so he's
I
aiming
do
for you.
maybe, but to be fair, because one of the bands didn't show up, and Resuscitators went on early, and I didn't realize till afterwards. And if I'd have
Me
known,
neither.
I would have definitely legged it over to the Bird Nest to watch them.
Same. And I'm quite annoyed. I heard through the grapevine that they Kyle was like, yeah, we don't want to clash with Lightyear. And then they moved without really much notice, which meant that like they didn't have as big a crowd as they should have. Because like I was anticipating running straight from the Human Project to go see Resuscitators, and we finished watching the Human Project, and I was like, let's go see Resuscitators, and then Matt was like, they've finished playing, and I was like, oh, this is
Yeah,
so sad.
I was
So,
disappointed about that, but those are the breaks, I guess. But
yeah,
it's just because like Matt, Roger, and Kyle, just talking to them all weekend, such lovely
yeah.
guys. They were really understanding at the fact that I wouldn't be going to see them as well because I felt really bad about it. But then
But
I could have seen them if they'd have just bloody told me they were moving.
they're playing that Philanthropunks festival I mentioned in the advert on the Friday. They're headlining the Friday.
Oh, excellent. I might
So
have to try and get along to that on November the 18th, I think is what you said.
yes. And
Excellent.
then
Cool.
we're playing on the 19th in the morning. Should be good.
Well, I'll probably be at work for that one because I work Saturdays like a dickhead. Um,
Unfortunately.
yeah, so the next part of the evening was for me the worst possible clash there could have ever been. But them's the break. So you had Lightyear, who are probably my favorite band ever. And then you got Call Me Malcolm, who are another one of my favorite bands, and just they're lovely people as well, my friends. And so I had to choose between them. And I went for Malcolm because I went for Friends rather than favorite band of all time. Um, logically. But and also Lightyear are playing twice at New Cross in February next year and MPF. So I will see them soon. But yeah, but then there was actually a really nice crowd who did stay at the Pie House for Call Me Malcolm, which was cool. Were you there?
Yeah.
Was I with you? No,
No,
I was with Mackie. We were singing the brass parts because that's easier
I,
to remember than words.
I just watched the Human Project. I had no breath and no energy anymore, so I went and stood at the top and sat down
Oh,
during Malcolm's set the entire time.
you're so
I
old, Dan.
really love Call Me Malcolm. I really do, but they followed the Human Project, and I used all my energy.
Whereas
So,
I went in the pit like a
ooh,
madman. I know it's unlike me. Like
ooh.
originally, I was sort of stood next to Emma at the side of the stage. But I was like, you know what? This festival's nearly over. I've got a little bit of energy left in me. And off I went and stood in the middle next to Mackie, and it went nuts. And it was a lot of fun. And I bumped into a lot of people. There wasn't really much skanking going on because it was quite packed. And I do like a skank, and that didn't get to happen. But Malcolm were incredible as always. They were a bit late going on because that's what Malcolm do. Um, for some reason, part of the delay was Luke went to put a unicorn onesie on. I don't know, but he must have been so hot in that. He had his woolly hat on. He was in a unicorn onesie, jumping around the stage. Madman.
I,
Um,
I thoroughly enjoyed the tribute to Coolio
oh, that
on
was
the set.
incredible.
Mike was telling me that they used to be Battlestar Scar Galactica, and their thing was to always play Gangster's Paradise by Coolio.
That was a really nice touch. I really enjoyed that. It was. I was in a video. My friend Miriam came over and being waved at. Hello. But yeah, and she recorded some videos on their YouTube channels, Holland Girly, and yeah, it's just a really awkward looking video of just UK ska punk people trying to dance to hip hop, and yeah, but it was so much fun. Um, they also played Jacob, which is their more skate punk sound, and
I was going to say about that song because that's my only Call Me Malcolm song I don't like.
but Jacob,
Yeah,
you don't
and
like Jacob?
Andrew, the drummer of my band, was with me that day, and he knows about that. And he was like dead in the middle of the crowd. And when they started playing that, he cranes around, looks at me dead in the eyes in the balcony with just the biggest smile in my face as I look really unhappy about it.
It's when they did
So
the
yeah.
like a wall of cuddles as well, and I had no one to cuddle, so I took the opportunity to spin.
Oh, nice.
Hello, we've got a guest, Dan's
I
father. Okay. Yeah, like Call Me Malcolm were incredible as always. I'm glad I took the opportunity to see them. And yeah, so after Call Me Malcolm, there's a bit of a worry that we wouldn't all get into Random Hand because they were the only band playing at the time they were on. So I was smart. I was with Paul. I stayed with Paul. Like if we
yeah.
can't get in, Paul is like a promoter at New Cross. He'll get in. He'll find a way to get us in. So, but fair, there was no need to worry. We got in no time at all. But I don't think anyone's ever walked between the Pie House and New Cross Inn as quickly as we did. I feel like if there was a, like tracking it on Strava or something, we broke a record.
Mm.
And you had like me, Emma, and Lander, all with Paul. Like, yeah, you'll get us in. It'll be fine. Um, I think Paul would also message Joe Tilston to say, just go on 5 minutes late so we can all get there. Paul was a handy man to know. Um,
um, no, meanwhile, I stayed a lot later and chatted with Mike from Triple Sunday about the scene and just general everything and like stuff about Fest and things. And it was just like a lovely chat to like finish my weekend before Random Hand. And I was just yeah, just reminded me of why I really like all the people that are in the scene
hmm.
and why I do what I do and the reason I come to gigs. So like yeah, it was really really nice. And then there was plenty of space at Random Hand. So
Yeah, always. Yeah, you came and jumped on my back at some point.
I'd like to point out I had no energy. I was chatting with people outside. It started raining, so I came inside. I standed at the back, enjoyed all of my favorite Random Hand songs, and then they played Anger Management, and I thought, yeah, I'm gonna have to go down the front and find Colin, and then I jumped on Colin, and that was good.
Standard. Yeah, but like around like I was Joe came to speak to me at the start and he'd listened to our Level Up podcast we did. And like in that, how I'd mentioned how Sonic Boom 6 played the exact same set at Till the Fest last year and Level Up. And he said, we've
Yeah,
purposely changed, made sure we changed the setup for this today.
yeah,
Just because of what I'd said. It's like, oh, okay. Sorry.
because like the to be honest, like we do recognize that like sort of thing. Like people do recognize that if you play the same set over and over again, like even changing up one song is
Oh, we
like
do because we don't
enough.
drink
Yeah,
and we're nerds.
good point. Good 2 points.
Yeah.
But you should.
Yeah. Um, yeah, but random. You know, the trouble with that is, though, it meant they didn't end up playing my favorite random hand song,
What's your favorite Random Hand song?
Not a Number.
Oh, they didn't play Not a Number.
They didn't.
That's a really good one as
I
well.
know. Hopefully that was just a conscious thing. But they
They
did
played
play
Devil's Little Guinea Pig though, which is so good. And
they they played a few or a couple of I think they played at least two songs from the new album they've just recorded as well.
yeah,
And
they
they
played
sound so good. One of them's like a really, really like heavy sounding song as well. I don't think there's even any trombone on it.
they played like one of the deep cuts off Hit Reset as well, which was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's just got a vinyl pressing. Emma,
Mm.
if you're listening, Christmas is on the way. Thank you. Um, yeah, like Random Hand was just the absolute perfect way of finishing the weekend. I think what a band, incredible. Like they're like a really good like representation of what the UK's like DIY scene is all about. Just hardworking, really talented, really nice guys. Look out for everyone, and yeah, Random Hand are one of my favorite bands of all time, and I'll go and see them as much as I can all the time. They've got their festival thing they're doing on next year as well, haven't they? In Leeds in
Yeah.
January, which I'm really sadly didn't get tickets for because I didn't get the time off
Mm.
work quick enough, which was a
But
shame.
the lineup looks incredible. I think the
Yeah,
Humour Project are playing.
yeah, and I think it's. I think I'm not even going to try and list all the bands that are playing off the top of my head because I can't think. But
Yeah,
and I'm tired and I've been talking a lot now. But
yeah.
yeah, but that is sold out anyway. So what's the point of plugging it too much?
But
Um,
they had like a group on the Facebook called the Handlers, and they like put out a Till the Fest post, which I thought was really nice, asking who to check out.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I didn't see many comments, but I saw me and you commented, so that's what
KTMF.
matters.
That's what I put.
I put making friends. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, just have to do a quick sum up of the entire weekend, then I guess, and then we can stop talking to each other.
Yeah, it
It
was
was
very
nice.
good.
Like you were saying, like talking to Mike at the end of Malcolm, like yeah, like I don't, like, I'm like at a festival, I go hard and try and see like every band I possibly can and just run around everywhere. But I didn't do that so much till the fest. I took time to like hang out and talk to people, and it was really nice. Like catching, like Fishlock was there. It was nice to see him, and Lander, who, from like the Belgium ska punk crew, was over. It was nice to catch up with them. And
I met Danny from Fair Dues on the Saturday, which was really nice. I got to talk with loads of the Lockjaw crew. Um, I just had a phenomenal and old chase and making friends and like just so many good people. And of course, the people from Resuscitators, Rogers and Kyle are amazing people. And then hanging with Matt Spear and Charlotte,
yeah, I was going to say
best people.
it's always like so lovely to see Matt and Charlotte. Like they obviously sort of in the Bath, Bristol area, so we don't get to see them that often. So it's always nice to see them. It's like the extended scene. Like it's just a really nice time for all the community to come together, especially at the moment when things are so shit with like the politics and the government and the country on its knees. Yeah. So it's just nice to have this pocket of like space to see bands we love, see people we love, and just have a really nice time and forget about all that shit. So thank
Yeah.
you to like Ollie and the rest of the crew who did such an amazing job all weekend. Like all the staff and all the venues were all lovely, and the security were really good.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think I saw any security at the pie house, but even just being down there, such good vibes. And I hate that phrase. There's a phrase that's snuck into my vocabulary. It's good vibes. I feel like I'm too old to be saying that.
There was like one thing that didn't happen that should have happened. I think I'll leave you with this story. We found a giant prosthetic hand outside the pie house
I remember that, yeah.
on Sunday, and spoilers were like all crowded round it. And I walked up to spoilers, and they were like, "There's this giant prosthetic hand," and I went, "That's a bit of a random hand, isn't it?" And then they went, "We should get it to them." It didn't happen, but we were saying it would have been an incredible moment if we managed to get this prosthetic hand 10 minutes walk away to New Crossing.
I don't think you would have got it through the door.
I don't think we would have, but we should have tried. But yeah,
I think
that's
you would have
what
pissed someone off quite a bit if you did that.
there's.
Whoever made the hand.
I, it's a goal for Till the Fest 3 though. So
I now want to know more about the hand though, because I noticed it and was like, why was it there? What was going on? Who knows? But yeah, the Tilderfest was absolutely great. I think that's our last festival of the year. We might go back to do some other podcasty bits now, where I was talking about things we've been getting up to. We might
it's
do an
our
album
last.
club.
Oh, that would be lovely.
Yeah,
It's our last festival, but you're going to Fest now.
yeah, I am. I did do. I mean, the last episode that there was a preview of it, and I guess I'll
Ah,
do a recording like of it, a review of it as well at some point. And but yeah, shall we wrap this up because we've
yeah.
been talking for fucking ages. Do you reckon anyone's even still listening?
No, I hope so.
If you are, well played. I hope we haven't ruined your morning, afternoon, evening, day with our ramble. Yeah, so till the fest was great. Cheers for chatting, Dan. Lovely to see you. Lovely to see your
Lovely to
parents.
chat with you.
And yeah, talk to you soon.
Which is soon,
Stay safe, support all the things and whatnot. And yeah, bye.